Hi, everyone. Sorry about the delay. My name is Jonathan. I'm here with Marcos. And today we're here to show you what we did for the Docker Hack Day. It's basically a tool to migrate containers. We work for a company called Mantika. It's a machine learning startup based in Canada. And we do all kind of we use all kind of technologies like in the latest of research in academia to actually solve problems for the industry, like moderating contents and stuff like that. First of all, thank you very much for everyone who voted us, and also for everyone who didn't vote us. That's fine. It's basically because of you that we are here, so we are super happy. Hopefully we can also encourage you guys to participate in the next Docker Hack Day. So everything started actually with Quake 3 server. Marcos is a huge fan of gaming, and he saw in the last DockerCon presentation that Michael Crosby, one of the Docker lead developers, basically what he did is he migrated the Quake 3 server from one location to the other, and he reduced the ping of the players by, I don't know, like 1 order of magnitude or something like that. So it was like a huge thing. Now, Marcos, since he's a pro of Quake 3, he said, oh, this is amazing. I definitely need to understand how this works. So he came to me, he told me about all these technologies. We started researching, investigating, and then we realized that the DockerCon was, the Docker Hack Day was coming. So we said, okay, let's do something for the Docker Hack Day. Let's try to create a tool that migrates containers from one host to the other. And let's try, we realized, and we actually asked Michael Crosby about what he did, and he told us that he was actually using UDP connections. So we said, okay, let's try to do it with TCP connections, like established connections, right? Let's try to migrate also the established connection from one host to the other. So before going to the tool, what is a container migration? Very high level, it basically means to do a few steps using a technology called CREW behind the scenes. And what we first do is we validate first that both the source host and the destination host are basically compatible, right? You can basically run the container that you are going to migrate, and it needs to be able to run it on the destination host. Then what you do is you basically checkpoint the process. Checkpointing a process means dumping all the memory, file descriptors, mount, namespaces, cgroups, basically everything to a set of files. And then we copy those files to the destination host, and we basically restore that process. Within that, we also copy, of course, all the TCP connections and everything. So what do we want to use this for, right? Like, is it useful for what? So for us, at least, since we run machine learning inside machine learning algorithms inside containers, sometimes we need to load a huge amount of data to memory when the process starts up. This takes sometimes like 5 minutes. So what we do is we basically take a snapshot, a checkpoint of a process after it was warmed up. And then what we do is we can launch that process in different machines without having that startup time. It's basically ready to work. Of course, the other thing is to relocate services, but also not necessarily to move them to maybe somewhere closer, but also to move them to a server that maybe it's smaller. Maybe you need to, during night, you don't want to have a huge machine, you want to have a smaller machine, and you can basically move the process to a smaller machine and turn off that big machine, but the process is still running. You can always take like snapshots or checkpoints of the processes in production because they are running a bit weird and you want to check what's going on. You just download that snapshot and you can basically play with it and do some kind of forensic without playing in production. And you can always take snapshots of processes in different points in time and then go back to some point in time and try to check what's going on with that process, compare it with the current state of the process, etc.
One comment about that: if you're using Node.js, you should definitely look at that site. That site underneath uses like CREW and Docker checkpoint and restore, and it allows you to run commands and to go back and forward from those commands whenever you want. It's amazing.
So anyway, let's go directly to the demo. Let's show you.
Okay, so this is where I jump in. Okay, so we don't have too many time, so I'm trying to do it fast. second, please. So I'm gonna connect to 3 machines in AWS. So the one on the left it will be my computer as me as an end user. And the ones here on the right are like 2 servers, right? So everything starts with a container. So I'm going to launch a runc container here. Oh, sorry. I'm here in the runc folder spec with a root file system and everything. So I'm going to launch a runc container here. And this is an Node.js application, right? So I'm going to invite you now to join me to play this game. Sorry. Should work now. Yeah, so I'm going to invite you, if you can, just please join this URL, which is game.mantika.io. And you can join me to play this little machine learning game. So basically, there's an image, and you need to tell if the image has spam or not, right? So this image doesn't have spam, and this image has like phone numbers, right? So it communicates to the user that you're trying to sell something, there's an email or contact information or something, so you just need to tell if it is or not. So one thing about this container is that it is stateless, right? So if I, for some reason, need to stop this application and move it to somewhere else, or I don't know, the server is not running okay, or the server goes down or something, you are going to get something like this. So I'm going to kill the application now, and if I see your devices, can you show me your devices? You should see like you got disconnected, right? Because this was using WebSockets. So that's not pretty good for us, right? We are software engineers, and we try to do this the best as possible. So I'm going to launch this again. So you can join again, please. You will need to refresh. So there's no reconnection here. There's only one TCP connection per user that's established to the server. So if we play again, and now what we'll try to do is I will try to move this application to another server using our command line tool. So I'm going to run cmt migrate here. I'm going to specify the source host, which is Ubuntu at host A. I'm going to specify the path of where the container is running. And I'm going to add a thing here that Jonathan will explain later for what it is. Hook pre-restore. Route to B. And if the demo gods are with us, you will see that if I try to keep playing, the application will freeze for a little time while it's migrating. And after it's done, I can still play, right? And as you can see, the server is not running here anymore, and the Node.js application is running on the other server, right? But you can still play. I mean, you didn't get disconnected. Everything is running as you almost didn't notice it. So we're going to move it back to its original server now. So I'm going to change these parameters, which is quite fast. Right? So please keep playing. Right? So CMT is performing all the validations that Jonathan was saying. It's preparing everything to migrate. It checkpoints the container. It moves everything. It migrates the rules necessary to make the TCP connections possible. And once it's done, everything keeps running as it is. I know that you're a demanding audience, right? So that freeze time is not like really nice. So that's why we added another feature into this, which does a two-time checkpoint, right? By just adding this pre-run flag at the end. And I'm running out of time, so I just want to show this. So I'm running again with this pre-run flag. So you will feel like the freeze is like much smaller this time. There we go. So it was like 3 seconds, right? So now we get only 3 seconds instead of 11. So this is basically our tool. Okay. Any quick questions? Because we almost have no time. Yeah.
How does this compare to Flocker, which does something quite similar?
I don't really know what Flocker does. But I don't know if Flocker uses Creo. I'm not aware of that.
Probably not.
Okay.
It does something like rsync over and then switch over.
But do they migrate the container in real time?
Only data, Flocker, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that Flocker, it's only data. I mean, it's not like the process state.
I don't think that's
I don't know. There was another question there? Yeah? Tonic Dev? I can tell you later. Is that okay? Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.